Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Authorities have not publicly identified a suspect or established a motive in the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, whose body washed ashore, or at least was found on July 6th after celebrating July 4th with his so-called friends. Yeah, and the autopsy left the cause and manner of death as undetermined. Well, a guy who knows a little bit of how they run things down in Mississippi is Judge Carlos Moore. He is a former Mississippi judge, so he knows how the game goes. And he had an opinion on a motive. Yeah, fam. Judge Moore said that, it could have been a situation where alcohol or drug abuse or rage may have caused somebody to kill Nolan Wells. He said maybe also, he threw out a few possible motives, right? He said maybe it was payback for Carmelo Anthony killing Austin Metcalf. You know, they already got a reason to kill black people. All they need is an excuse. And then you have the theory that neo-Nazis are in on it, right? There's a rise, and it's a thing with these neo-Nazis. They're going around Ocean Springs and all of Mississippi, really all the United States, really waving the flag of white supremacy. We're better than you because of our skin color, even though we're going to die just like you, even though we bleed just like you, even though we get colds just like you. And if something pierces our skin, we're going to bleed just like you. Even though if we stay underwater long enough, we're going to drown just like you. Even though we can't fly just like you, we can't make our bodies disappear just like you. We're better than you because we got a certain hue. Yeah. So uh, I think Carlos is on to something. I think the good judge is on to something. That's right. I said it. I think he's on to something. Now, here's the thing. Let me be clear. What I'm about to say are not facts. Let's just call it plausible investigative theory. How about that? It's a plausible investigative theory. Somebody got to investigate. It's a dirty job, but somebody got to do it. Since we ain't getting no so-called official investigative updates. He had friends on a boat. Yeah, those friends was on a boat. And those friends called a place called Seto that's in the business of towing boats that are in distress. They called and said that their boat was sinking. Before the call started, you can hear panic in the background. People saying things like, "Oh my God. Damn it, Bart. Damn it, Bart." Nolan, is he dead? No's really dead now. Y'all can't get around that. I don't give a damn what y'all say. Y'all cannot get around that call. You cannot get around it. You can talk about all this other stuff all you want. I mean, in my opinion, there was already enough evidence to make some charges already before the boat call, before that call. The call just pretty much substantiated what everybody with a half a brain suspected anyway. And I do believe that a lot of Nolan Wells' friends, supporters, also believe that foul play was involved and that they were involved. Yeah, I absolutely believe that. Yeah. If they're so innocent, why don't they move like innocent people? Okay, you want to raise money? Usually, if a friend dies, especially on your watch, if you're going to raise money, you raise money for the family. You don't raise money for yourself. You don't go get lawyers and say, hey, stop talking about me. Y'all talking about me. Meanie pants, stop talking about me. They're raising hundreds of thousands of dollars just in case, so they can go sue people who are in pursuit of justice. They're trying to sue people under the guise of defamation. You know what defamation is, fam? First of all, you know what most people see defamation is? When you say something about them, point blank period, even if it's true. If you say something about them, they think you're defaming them. Defamation is hard to prove. And I know a whole lot of lawyers that'll take that countersuit in a heartbeat to get that money. Yeah. So anyway, they're trying to silence people, fam. They're trying to get people to stop talking about the case. That just sounds suspicious to me. If I didn't think they had anything to do with it by them doing this lawyer up stuff, that makes me think that perhaps you are guilty of something. You know? Like, that's just not something. If I was hanging out with my buddy, and although he came up missing on Independence Day, I would not allow his death to be independent. I would not allow the search of his body to be independent of me. I'm not going to be at home. I'm not going to be at a restaurant eating while people are out there searching. All types of agencies are out there searching for his body. I'm going to be out there searching too. And I don't care if I don't get any sleep. I don't care what else is going on in my life. I'm looking for my partner. I'm searching. I'm there. If nothing else, I'm there for moral support for the family. Which of his friends has been there for moral support for the family? Which of his friends have offered moral support? I say to all of the friends, the so-called friends, stop calling yourselves his friends, because friends don't move like that. Y'all should stop calling yourselves his friend, because you don't believe it and we don't believe it. That's right, I said it. You don't believe it and we don't believe it. So I got some motives of my own that I think, some plausible motives, right? You know, I think probably the most, here's a couple of plausible motives. I think that Noah got into a fight, a squabble, disagreement with somebody. The fight escalated and he was killed. I don't know if he was killed purposely or if it was an accident. As far as like maybe he slipped, bumped his head on something and died, or somebody choked him out, or he got jumped. Don't know if it was a conflict over a woman. That could have been a romantic interest right there. It could have been an old beef that had never gotten solved. And somebody had something on their mind, because this happens a lot. I've actually been in the company of people who died like this. I've been in the same room when people were murdered, and uh, there was a disagreement. And the person uh, who did the shooting or the stabbing, they already had it on their mind that they didn't like this other guy. I'm talking about the person who was the aggressor. They didn't like the other guy already. They didn't like something about him, or they didn't like something that he did uh, prior to that night. So it wasn't about what happened that particular night. Some people, they kind of lie in wait for an opportunity to harm you when they don't like it. So you have people around you, and you might be kicking it and everything, having a good time or whatever. You thinking we all together, and they're waiting on any little thing you do. And so you say something, and you may not even say something to them. You might say something to another person in the group, in the friend group, and they might jump in and say, "Oh, you always saying something. You always got something to say." Yeah, automatically that trigger you. Now you don't know he got killed on his mind. You thinking it's just an argument. It's just a little disagreement. But he got killed on his mind. And you thinking about, okay, as it escalates, you thinking fight. He thinking kill. So you're at a major disadvantage already, because you don't know that he's ready to go there. This stuff happens all the time. So I would not be surprised if something like that happened, where it was an old beef that was brought up, you know. I think that this girl Katie name keeps coming up. Who is Katie? Who was Katie talking to besides, what male was Katie talking to besides Nolan that day? Or did Katie have a love interest? And who was that love interest? And did that on that particular day, how close in proximity was that love interest to Nolan Wells? That has to be ruled out before anybody can get taken off the hook. Everybody's a suspect right now. If you was around Nolan Wells, you start right there. Just like if you're in a relationship with a woman or a man, you're the spouse. The spouse is the suspect. They might not say it publicly. The police may not say it publicly, but the spouse, anytime a person get killed, unless it's an obvious situation where it's a road rage or something, or somebody just got into a fight, a family fight, and he got shot or whatever. Hey man, the spouse is all under mysterious circumstances. The spouse is the number one suspect. That's why y'all don't need to be out there trying to kill your spouses, because you're gonna be the number one suspect. Don't kill your spouse just because you're gonna. Don't not kill your spouse just because you're gonna be the number one suspect. Don't kill your spouse because it's just not a good thing to do. It's not godly. Don't do that. Don't kill your spouse. But if you're thinking about it, I'm giving you something else to think about. If you're not worried about the godly thing, I'm giving you something else to think about. Maybe you don't want to go to jail. You're going to be the number one suspect. Spouses are the number one suspect. Besides that, the last person known to have seen the person alive, the last person who was with that person is a suspect also, or those persons are suspects. Okay? And it don't matter what your skin color is and who your mama and your dad is and what kind of lawyer you hire and how much money you got and all that. That don't matter. You still a suspect until you get ruled out. They're still supposed to investigate you until they rule you out. This case is taking all types of weirdo type turns. Like, what's up with all of this special interest and special privileges and all this type of stuff? Man, you can't run no investigation like that. If you want us to believe that you are not guilty, stop acting like you're guilty. No more talk.